Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fred McMurray, the resident non-artist at artisuu.com. Welcome to our August 2020 Virtual Art Festival. Just as a quick reminder, a portion of the proceeds will go to Feeding America. So art lovers, help us feed America by feeding your love of art. Today we have six great artists with us. The first one being Frances Esters. I've known Frances for a while, and she's a phenomenal artist. And so, Frances, are you ready to go?
I am. Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Take it away, ma'am.
All right. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm in my little tiny workspace and I have a big fluffy dog running around, so you probably hear her. So again, happy Sunday. Hello, everyone. My name is Frances Esters, also known as the Elegant Tomboy. And today we're going to go over some of the pieces that I've made in the last couple of weeks that I've just tried to make colorful, bright, happy. I think that we all right now need something that just kind of breaks up the craziness that we've been going through in 2020. And I definitely think we need some bright colors with all of the fire smoke. So I am going to bring in some pieces. All right. So it's not letting me flip my camera. There we go. All right. So the first piece, and this is done with chalk paints on glass, and it has been baked so that you can clean it. So it needs to be dusted. You can go over it. It's not going to come off. And just a good reminder, be bold, be brave, be brilliant. We all have our own talents. We all have our own passions. We all have our gifts. And right now, this is a great time to just take some time to sit back and appreciate those, not only for yourself, but to share them and bring some happiness and some light into this world. So this is a 5x7. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to the frame. It's like a beachy gray wood. So it'll go great sitting next to one of Michele's resin pieces or any of the beautiful jewelry that's going to come up in a nice little bowl or a nice little jewelry plate right next to it. And on top of one of Clive's beautiful pieces that you'll see from him. And then we'll go into another sign, which I think everybody can relate to. The Endless Laundry Company, wash and dry, fluff and fold, open 24/7 because laundry never ends. And if you have kids, if you have teenagers, especially teenage girls, the clothes, they just keep coming. So this is just a fun sign. I say that you should hang it, especially if you have kids, you have teenagers, put it somewhere where they like to dump their clothes and then put a tip jar next to it. So just a fun piece. Wood again done. This time I used an ink paint. So that one's going to be a little bit more permanent. So that one's definitely not coming off. Going to be very easy to dust. Has a little twine piece that you can hang that anywhere that you would like. And then we move this out of the way. We have this galvanized tin pitcher that has been distressed with several different colors of paint that I let dry and then used a brass bristle brush to dragged over it and just gave it that really distressed look, like it's been sitting outside for a long time. And that's with the whites and yellows. I can get a little bit closer so you can see more of the color on it. And I do have pictures of these posted on the Unveiling Beauty page so that you can see some more close-ups on it. And then it comes with this beautiful bouquet of white and yellow flowers, the perfect flowers, no allergies, no water, and they never die. Super easy. Every once in a while, you might need to take them outside to dust them off, but that's it. And then they're sitting on a really fun piece that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks, which is this cabinet. Solid wood. I updated the hardware in it so that it has a really strong close. Because if you have dogs like I do who are far too smart for their own good, they open everything. And this was painted with interior exterior acrylic paint. So it's going to put up with everyday life. Again, if you have teenagers, kids, toddlers, pets that are running around, it's not going to chip like a chalk paint would do. And I love this because it has this wood overlay on it of the roses. And I put just a tiny bit of color in it just to highlight it. But I wanted to keep everything neutral so that for whoever decides to take this piece home, it could be used anywhere with whatever they already have. So whites, yellows, a little bit of a green mixed in just to give it some of that worn look, and a good size. And then we have another little reminder piece. Get this. It's always fun dealing with glass and light. It says live in the moment. And that is done in copper paint on glass, also baked so that it will be very easy to clean. And then a teal distressed frame. And it's a black underlay. So it's a little bit more of an intense color. And I love the play of copper and teal with each other. And this combination, I'm going to come back, is my favorite. So that yellows, the whites, the teals, the copper, I mean, it all plays together just beautifully. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to play upon with all the pieces that I did, is that all of them work together. And another fun piece is this little milk tin that also is live in the moment. Again, matching with the whites and the yellows. I'm gonna move that over here. And last but not least, this is kind of my signature, is I absolutely love copper. And I love patinaed copper because it tells a story. It shows its age. It goes through its story. So I took another piece of galvanized, a little pot, and used ink paints again, so that you just have that beautiful patina on it. Softened it and have a little bit of that rope detail. And then another beautiful waterless bouquet. And again, all of these pieces work beautifully together. All the colors were meant to be neutral, to go together. This is a great little combo. Again, it just ties everything together. But if you like color, you can put it all together again. And this is a great way, you know, I always teach people the best place to redo your house is within your house. So go into a room and steal pieces from a bedroom and put it in your living room, and vice versa. And, you know, bringing some flowers and little arrangements into your kitchen. Maybe you have a little shelf somewhere, even on a counter on it. And an island is a great place to do some flowers, just to keep everything just a little bit more lively and very easy to change up. And again, all these pieces are up on the Unveiling Beauty page with pricing, with sizing, and more close-up pictures so that you can really see more of the color. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can contact me at The Elegant Tomboy on Facebook, The.Elegant Tomboy on Instagram, and TheElegantTomboy@gmail.com, or leave a message on the Unveiling Beauty page. So thank you, everybody. Be well and enjoy the next artists that are coming up.
Thanks, Frances. How long did it take you to make the cabinet?
The cabinet took me a little bit longer than usual just because we've been battling triple digit heat. So usually it would take me probably about a total of 15 to 20 hours. And this one took me longer because there were 7 layers of paint that I stripped off of it. And you can see that process on my Instagram page. So with the heat, trying to use paint stripper, it would dry as soon as it touched. So it took about 17 coats of stripper before I could finally get it all the way down, before I could sand it out and then start repainting it.
Wow. Thanks for being part of the Artisuu Art Festival.
Thank you for having me.
See you soon. And now for our next artist, our own Clive Gray Artwood. Clive, you around?
I am. I'm hitting the buttons.
Yay, he's hitting the buttons, folks.
It says unable to start video. Oh, Fred, I hit start video and it says unable to start it. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Clive.
But the video's not working. There we go. Start my video. There we go. There we go.
And now, folks, our own Clive Gray Artwood. Clive, take it away.
Hello there. Okay, wow. What happened to the quality? My lips are moving differently than me, but anyway, I'm Clive Gray, and I thought I would show you a music box. Anyway, it's something I do in addition to my woodworking. This is one of my music boxes. And I don't know if you can see it on this video, but it's made out of a wood called lacewood. And the top is sapele. It's a 72 note movement. Most of them are 15 notes, which gives you much richer sound. And I have this one playing in the background as we're listening. But anyway, it's I've been working with wood for most of my life, and this particular music box, it was an experiment in engineering, if you will, because I think you can hear it in the background. I'm not getting the same feed you are, so it's hard to tell, but the sound actually radiates through the box itself so that you don't open it, and when you put it on a wooden shelf, it actually transmits the sound to the shelf and gets louder. The particular tune you're hearing is Canon in D. All my boxes are I don't know if you can see it, but on the bottom it tells you what plays in it and what portion it is. I definitely like classical music for my music boxes. It's very relaxing, and that's part of art, is to enjoy it, to relax. Now, that's a traditional design, as most of us have seen. You know, we're used to like rectangular, square music boxes. Okay, but you can make them in any shape you want. That being said, we have this guy. I call this the Art Deco music box. And as you can see, someone gave me this wood, and I believe that this is apricot burl. And then I wrapped it in a black walnut trim. And then I cut up a jar to get me the glass. And this too has a 72 note unit in it. And like all my boxes, if I don't drop it here, you can see what plays right on the bottom. There we go, the Brandenburg Concerto. But I've, ever since I was a kid, I liked music boxes, and I was determined at some point to build one. And so I built my first one, about 7 years ago. And then this one, the Art Deco guy, some call it steampunk. That's new to me, but we call it Art Deco. This one I just built last year. So, and this one is actually, which is interesting, this is called lamination bending, where it's like making plywood and you build it on a form, and there's actually about 6 different pieces of wood that are all glued together to create these arches. And once you do, they become really strong, and they actually do structural components like that in building, because I also do a little building on the side. So anyway, I guess maybe my time to go, because I see another face on the screen. I don't know. No, maybe not.
No, you still got a couple of minutes, Clive.
Okay. As you can tell, I'm not a real social media guy. Fred's the guy there, but I'm learning. I've been working in my shop all these years, and they pulled me out of my shop to do this. But I love working with wood. It's really cool. And another thing, all my pieces, so when you see them, people ask me what colors and dyes I use. And this particular wood, this burl, is the actual color of the wood. And all of my pieces, I simply put a clear finish on them so that you can experience the actual wood and grain in its natural color. And the other beauty is I use a polyurethane finish, because I remember as a kid, my mom would not let me touch the tables and the wood stuff because, the wax would corrupt on it or whatever. And I'm a low maintenance guy, and I want my pieces to be the same way. So polyurethane is very forgiving. If you spill water on it, you wipe it off. If you scratch it, you can touch it up with polyurethane. It's, pieces are meant to be held and handled and touched, and not just looked at. And as a kid, I still remember all the pieces, my mom had that I could not touch, and it was no fun. So mine are quite touchable, and that includes my wall hangings as well as my furniture. So anyway, you can check out my works on clivegray.com or Artisuu. Actually, I'm still learning how that works. And then also on Unveiling Beauty on the Facebook. So check it out. There's a lot of fine artists on this group, and it's growing, I know. So in these times, everyone can zoom away.
So, Clive, how long does it normally take you how long did it take you to make the music box?
The boxes range anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And the reason is especially like, for example, this one, the pieces are so small in it. This corner is actually made up of 2 different pieces that are mitered together and glued, and they're all compound miter cuts. So it takes quite a while, and you work on it for an hour, and then you glue it, and you have to wait for it to set up. And there's a lot of parts to it. Like, for example, inside the glass is a foam bead that all the glass sits in, so that the glass doesn't touch the wood, because if it does, it sounds like angry bees when it vibrates. And then, for example, this one, when you're doing the bending, you make up these pieces. It takes a day to build the jigs first, and the next day you bend the wood, and then you have to let them sit there for 2 or 3 days in the jig. So it's always a little bit of work every day, and and then a couple of days you're off on another project. So that's why the time is so long on them, because you really can't rush them. These are one-of-a-kind pieces. They're not production. I don't have jigs just to make 10 or 20 of them. So, for example, as the traditional box is a little bit easier, whereas the Art Deco piece, every single piece is a new creation. So I have to either build a jig or cut it out and then shape them just right. It's rather time consuming. Plus, sometimes you have to just sit and figure out how you're going to do the next step. Because generally speaking, I'll get a picture in my head of what I want to build, and then I have to figure out how to build it. And that's the challenge. So, and I like that. That's hopefully I'm growing new brain cells doing that.
We hope.
Yes, indeed. And on my bigger pieces, some of my wall pieces are a little easier. And I'd say the quickest piece would be maybe 3 days. That would be like Transparency, which is on my site, there was no backboard to it, and fairly easy to assemble and whatnot. So it's about a 3-day process, 2 days to put it together, and then 1 day in the finishing room. And that's another thing, the finishing room, depending on the part, sometimes I pre-finish the pieces before I assemble them, so I have to mask off all the glue joints, finish them, and that'll be 2, 3, sometimes 4 coats with a light sand in between. And even though it's just polyurethane, I want the finish depending on how it's used. If it's a handle or on a piece, it's going to get a lot more coverage than just, say, the bottom will. So there's quite a bit to it, actually.
All right. Well, thank you, sir, for being part of the Artisuu virtual art festivals and helping us launch the virtual art renaissance of the 21st century. You can find more about Clive at Clive Gray Artwood on artisuu.com or join the Unveiling Beauty group on Facebook and see all the fun. Our next artist is KeKai Kealoha, which she did not come from Chicago, in case you were wondering. So, KeKai, you ready to come on down?
I sure am.
Okie dokie.
So let's try this again. You can't start your video because the host has stopped it. So let's see about giving me a link, Fred. Thank you.
And take it away, KeKai.
Aloha, everyone. Velina mai. Aloha kako. Welcome and hello. My name is KeKai Kealoha, and I am the curator of Hanaoli Designs. It's so wonderful to be here. Want to send a really big mahalo out to Fred and Michele because they really kind of brought us to you in a way that we can share it while we're sheltering in place and kind of doing our regular gig. So thank you so much. The first two pieces I'd like to share today are actually inspired by the monarch butterfly's journey. And if you have, let's see if I can get this a little closer. If you've had a chance to kind of bear witness to the transformation of a monarch butterfly, where I became in awe of them was as soft and delicate as they are, that these pollinators soar 10,000 feet in the air and can travel up to 2,000 miles. I mean, that's incredible. So in honor of their journey, the first two pieces I'm sharing are two rings. The first one that I have showing on my hand is actually entitled Opens Up, and it's made from 14 gauge diamond-shaped Argentium silver. And you may be asking, what is Argentium? It is a form of sterling silver. It contains less nickel and is slightly harder than sterling silver. And it's a good thing because I love working with harder metal, but I loved working with sterling silver. So it was nice to find this welcome combination. Again, it's entitled Opens Up. This ring is roughly a size 6, and it just sits so delicately. I love to wear rings on my middle finger. It's definitely not a ring you want to wear when you're cleaning or kind of digging your hands into files. So please, if you're going to be going out on the town or maybe going out and visiting friends, if you can safely, this is definitely a showstopper. And again, 14 gauge Argentium silver. And it's just lovely. It really is beautiful on your hand. The second ring, also inspired by the monarch's journey, is here on my right hand, this time on my ring finger. And it's also 14 gauge Argentium silver, again, less nickel. So why that's important is because normally sterling silver tarnishes, but with the less nickel in it, it doesn't tarnish. So yes, if you wear your jewelry a lot, like I do, you may from time to time just have to kind of wipe it off because it does collect your body oils, but it doesn't get that black film that usually sterling silver attracts. Again, 14 gauge diamond shaped. Again, diamond shaped is a square shaped wire. The reason I prefer to use the square shape is because it has this wonderful ability to refract and reflect light, giving it this sparkle that the round shapes don't normally do. So both pieces are priced at $65 a piece. If you'd like to take a closer look, either on Unveiling Beauty under the albums, there is a collection of photographs with the item number and the cost. And then also, if you check out the artisuu.com site, you will also see each of our pieces, whether Clive or myself, Francis, Michele, and Victoria, that we've put our products up there. So the next few, I think I have a few more minutes to be able to share a couple more pieces. The next two pieces you'll see are pendants. And this next series of treasures were inspired by the term wahine nui. When my dad was born, his mother actually had a midwife that delivered him, and her name is wahine nui. The literal translation is big woman. The true meaning is closer to someone who is bold, strong, and fearless. I know this woman must have been very dear to my grandmother because her name became my dad's namesake. And when I started this collection, both my parents had passed. And from time to time, as I'm kind of in the moment and inspired to do something, they typically will come to me. In this particular instance, when I finished the first piece of this collection, I immediately thought in Hawaiian, and I rarely think in Hawaiian, but the word wahine nui came to me. And so for me, a bold woman is brilliant, true, stunning, breathtaking, and most of all, she never pretends to be anything but what she is. And so these bold sculptures are made from hand-formed, again, square-shaped. I'm going to get a little closer to the camera. Square-shaped or diamond-shaped 10 to 12 gauge Argentium silver. Now, again, as the gauge gets smaller, it gets larger, and it does get heavier. For me, I love working in this 10 to 12 gauge range. I mean, aside from really getting my hands into it and moving the wire, I love the way it feels. I love the way it sits on your hands. I love the way it sits on your neck. This piece, this pendant, is priced at $125. And if you wanted to take a closer look, it is in the album under Unveiling Beauty on Facebook. The next piece I'm going to show is actually housing a crystal. That piece is actually made out of 12 gauge wire. I know you think I'm so snazzy here. I just kind of put 3 pieces on my choker. And by the way, I do like to use with metal, I love to include kind of a more organic element to it. And so for me, I've been really enjoying these leather lacings. I made friends with a Native American who that's their craft. They make leather products. So I like to support. And so when I do my necklaces or my pendants, I always reach out to them for the leather lacings. But here, this piece is 12 gauge Argentium silver. And it's hard to probably see, but in the middle of it is this crystal that is facing down. Back in another lifetime, I would work with cultural practitioners, Hawaiian, and myself and another woman helped open up a gallery type store at the Royal Hawaiian, which is known as the Pink Lady. And this hotel has been in Hawaii for 100+ years. And she was going under renovations in the mid-2000s. And there was some crystal chandeliers that had broken. And I kind of talked to some people and was able to share some things that we could barter with. And anyway, long story short, is I was able to have a few pieces. So the crystal here that you're seeing is from the Pink Lady. Again, Argentium silver in a 12 gauge diamond shaped wire. And I can tell you, whether you're wearing a blouse as I am today, or a t-shirt, or a beautiful blouse that you'll see on Michele, the piece is truly stunning on yourself. Every time I go out, I do get wonderful compliments and admirations. And not only from women, from men. They kind of go, wow, what is that? So this is my piece, first one of A Bold Woman. The third one that I'm going to bring around here is, let me see that. Okay, so hopefully you can see that right here on the black lacing. Again, this is 10 gauge Argentium silver, square shaped. Oh, and I think I forgot, the piece before is $185. The first pendant, which is number, hold on one second. Let's see, the first pendant was number 4. This, the pendant that just had the crystal in it was number 5. And this lovely piece, what number is this? This is number 9. If you're checking out the album, or if you go to the website, artisuu.com, you will see this as number 9. 10 gauge Argentium silver with a black onyx crystal. And again, I do, how I find these is by kind of spending the time to go around to whether estate sales or just wonderful, I guess, stores that really have some elegant treasures. And every now and then I find a wonderful piece. So there you go. Today I'm sharing 4 pieces. There were 2 rings, and on the album it's number 1 and 2, followed by number, what did I say? I said number 4 and then number 5. I think I still need to wrap up. I have 1 minute. So people, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed being here, and I'm so very happy. And again, things that inspire me as a curator of my passion is anything that I can see, hear, smell, taste. Really, nothing's off limits. Thank you very much, and mahalo.
Mahalo to you, KeKai. Wow, I'm learning Hawaiian. Isn't that amazing? And our next artist is Marianne Oliver. Marianne, are you ready to come on down?
I am ready.
Then if I can click the right button,
There you
take it
are.
away, Marianne.
Hi, everybody. Well, this is my first time in the group. I'm really honored to be here. I'm excited to be here. I have been an artist basically all of my life. Currently, I am an oil painter, and I'm also a jewelry artist. So a little bit about my oil painting. I have shown a lot here. I did the Art and Wine Walk in Atascadero. I've had my paintings hung in the Clark Center, a juried show there, a show in AG Library. I have done the Steinberg Gallery. I did an opening there. I have done 3 opening mind shows, and I was supposed to be the featured artist with the TEMA show this year in Paso at the gallery, or the gallery on the park there in Paso. But COVID happened, sadly. So what ended up happening was they made me the featured artist for the whole year. So I'm their artist in 2000 and all the way up to May 2021. So 2020 to 21. So their show they're planning now, and hopefully COVID will be over, so I will have a live show there. But anyway, I thought I'd show you some of my oil paintings to start. I have some of my pieces on the Artisuu site, so I hope you check that out. The first painting that I'll show is, let's see if I can get it up to the camera. Oh, I hope you can see it. Let's see. Can you see this, Fred? I don't know. Maybe
You're
the
good.
paint. Okay, because it looks very faded here. But anyway, this is taken off of highway. It was from a photograph taken from Highway 46. It was the dunes between Morro Bay and Cambria over there. I'm going to fade out here a little bit. It is an original oil painting. It is on a box frame, so you don't have to frame this. See, and I've painted the sides of it. It is in oil on a fine linen canvas, and it's ready for hanging. When I sell my paintings, I get them all ready, so all you got to do is just put them right on the wall. So this is just an example. I love to paint local. Whoops. Here's a painting of, this is Cayucas. It's the canyon on the other side of the beach. I hope you can see it. Oh, there we go. And so my friend Susan lives on a ranch out there, and we went on a hike and took a lot of beautiful photographs, went back into the studio and painted. So this was when we had like the super bloom of lupin. And then same canyon. A lot of artists live back in that canyon, so they're all inspired, and Susan is one of them. So I went back when we did a super bloom of the mustard, and here is that. I think they're just really beautiful. I love the local painting, but I do a lot of other paintings of birds. I love painting birds. These are blue-footed boobies. Right? And this is done in the style that is photo real. So you might think that this is a photograph, but it's an original oil painting. If I paint in the photo real style, it takes a lot longer. They are very time consuming. There's other styles that I paint in. And here's one that's in the impressionistic style. So I used a palette knife on this, and I'm having a hard time showing you this, but that's okay. You get the idea. They'll be posted on the Artisuu site one of these days, soon. All right. So that is what I do basically with my paintings. And I'm going to show you a little bit of my jewelry as well. This is a piece that I made this last year, and it's a composite piece. I hope you can see it. It is a cute little pendant. Look, which way am I going here? Gosh, here it is. It's a nice little pendant with the bees and flowers. I took a frame, which is the back, and it's kind of a blank frame, and you just find little silver pieces to glue inside, and they're really, really pretty on. I've made so many of them. This is one of the last ones that I have because all of the others sold, and I saved this one for myself. But I'm gonna sell this and possibly make more. So that's one of the things I do. Here's another, this is wrapped. I do wire wrapping as well. I usually wrap, this is sea glass. It's a necklace. And I usually wrap the sea glass or precious stones, like semi-precious stones when I do my wrapping. And I make pendants, typically, unless they're hung on a chain like this and they're smaller. So the ones I make are a little larger. I do straight line beading too. This is a coral and a black pearl necklace. Here's some freshwater white pearls and black pearls. Everything that I use is natural stones or natural pearls and shells or glass. I don't use any plastic. Everything is very high quality in the jewelry that I make. So yeah, if you're interested, you can continue to watch. I'm planning to be on the Artisuu site and just add more and more of the things that I make and the things that I paint. I paint once a week with a group of local artists, super talented people. My mentor teacher, who has taught me everything that I know, is a very famous teacher who teaches nationally and has taught for 40 years. So I feel very blessed. But as far as the jewelry goes, I've been making jewelry my whole life. I've sold, many of my pieces are in LA and in Southern California, where I used to do many festivals and things like that. So anyway, thank you, Fred and Michele. A shout out to the other artists. Keep doing what you're doing. We need to stay busy in these times of COVID. Keep on creating. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Marianne. Great first showing for Artisuu, and we look forward to having you back in September, as well as all the new art you're going to put on the artisuu.com site.
Thank you.
Our next guest is, or our next presenting artist is our artist-in-chief, Michele Rempel. Michele, are you ready to come on down?
I am. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Michele Rempel, and I'm with Windows to Waves. My mother and I actually do my mother and I are the ones who create for Windows to Waves. So thanks to everybody for tuning in and seeing what we've got going. I just wanted to show a few of the pieces that we've done and just kind of give you an idea of some of the different things we do. We make beachy art. That's why we're called Windows to Waves. We use resin on all of our pieces, and we like to use a lot of found materials, seashells, seaweed, crushed shells. We use some crushed glass and some pigments, depending on what we feel like making that day. So I'm going to show you a few here. So this first piece is, it has a seahorse. It's called a seahorse stunner. And I know there's kind of a glare. This is the hard part about creating on glass, like what Francis mentioned. Now I'm covering myself with the glass. That's great. Anyway, it's got a lot of sand and shells. It's got some seaweed from a local beach here called Montana de Oro in Los Osos area. The seahorse is made out of resin. And I also created some bubbles out of resin to put in this piece as well. So, and then we have some various seashells. Some of them come from the local beaches, and then some of them we acquired. And we also got a couple of happy little sea stars in there. So our pieces are really great for people who, have a nautical theme in their one of their bedrooms, or we have a lot of pieces in bathrooms. We have a lot of pieces in kids' rooms, or, sun porches where they have like a, covered porch, that kind of thing. So there's really just, we have made so many pieces, and we're so excited to have our pieces in so many homes across the US. So, with COVID hitting, we used to sell at a lot of art festivals around here in SLO County. But obviously that's not happening. So now we're excited to bring our artwork online. And again, thanks everybody for tuning in. So that's called Seahorse Stunner. It is in the Unveiling Beauty group. It is in the picture, if you look in the photos, it's in the photos, or you can just message me, Michele Rempel. I'm in the group. You can message me if you want more information. So that's one piece. This piece is made out of resin as well. It's on glass. What I did on this one is I created the wave using pigments in resin. So I actually laid down the blue first, and then I laid down the darker blue, and then I put some white resin. I mixed a pigment in to make the white and created the wave. And then the thing about resin is you have to let it cure. So a minimum of about 24 hours before you want to touch it. And then it needs to cure after that for a couple of weeks before we usually want to, sell them or ship them out to somebody. We can ship. We were a little bit worried about shipping our pieces to, during the summer when it was so hot, when it's been so hot. But so far, everybody that we've shipped to, they've arrived well. So we're really happy about that. So if you don't live in the area, we do free delivery in SLO County. But if you don't live in the area, we can certainly ship these out. We're happy to do that. So let me know. And pieces are also listed on Artisuu.com under Windows to Waves. So if you have any questions, let me know. And then I have one more piece to show you. This is a piece that my mom created. Sorry, I know. I love, it's so hard sometimes to show these, how sparkly they are in pictures. And so I really wanted to show this one off because it really is so very sparkly. It has a ton of shells. Some of them are local shells. It's got little sea stars. It's got some seaweed from Montana de Oro. It's got a great big sea star, not from the area, but it's pretty cool. This one is called Center of Attention, as you can imagine why. And it also has some crushed shells, and we also have some crushed glass. And also some of the crushed glass actually is mirrored. So again, it's very, very sparkly. It looks great on the wall, especially if you put it in a room that has a little bit of natural light, or natural light is best because it really just the sparkles really show up. You can check out all of the other work again in Unveiling Beauty. And again, happy to ship out. We actually started doing this a couple of years ago after we took a class, and we discovered that we just enjoyed it so much. And Clive had done a festival a couple of years ago, and so we thought, oh, what the heck, we'll see if we can sell some. And to our surprise, we sold out pretty much the entire inventory, and that's when we realized that people really have a love for beach stuff. Beach art. They like it as a memento, or they just, they have a nautical theme, or they just want add a little whimsy to their walls. So that's what we're doing. Windows to Waves. Thank you so much, everybody who's participated. We really appreciate it. And we'll take it away to Victoria.
Well, Michele, before we send it away to Victoria, my one question to you is, you said it's resin. What's resin, real quick?
Oh, good question. Resin is a chemical. It's a two-part chemical. You find resin in a lot of different places. You can get resin countertops. When people think of resin, they often think of like a bar top, that clear coating that's on a bar top. That's basically what we're using. But in this case, we're using art resin that has a UV filter in it so that it protects against yellowing. And so we really haven't had an issue with, like the old time bars, you would see the resin start to really yellow, or back in the day, people would use resin to make all kinds of weird, like something called a vomit clock. Look it up on Google, vomit clock from the 70s. So resin's been around a long time, but anyway, this resin doesn't tend to yellow. And as long as you don't put the pieces in direct sunlight, you should be able to enjoy them for years to come. Don't want to put resin in direct sunlight or out in the sun because it might kind of get soft and yellow. So that's a great, thanks for asking the question about resin.
Thank you, Michele. And now our last artist, but not our least. Unfortunately, Valerie just unlucked out with the, she's got the last name in the alphabet, so we went alphabetically today. So last but not least, Victoria Sexton. Wow, I'm really butchering that name, aren't I? So, how are we doing, Victoria? You ready to show us your stuff?
Hey. Yes. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Take it away, ma'am.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I'm Victoria, and I primarily make seed bead jewelry. Now, this is an example of seed beads. So they're these little teeny tiny glass beads. And actually, a friend of mine suggested that I try this as a hobby, and I thought she was crazy. She said, I think it'd be great for your stress level. And I told her she was nuts. And then I tried it, and I really got hooked. So this is an example of one of my mermaid bracelets that I make. They're very sparkly. They come in different colors of blue, that sort of thing. And I just think it looks like the ocean. So these mermaid bracelets, I primarily do these custom because sometimes people like them sparkly. Sometimes they like them with more blue. Sometimes they like them, darker, lighter, whatever. So if that's something that you're interested in, they're $180 for a custom bracelet, and feel free to contact me. I'm Victoria Romano Sexton, and you can just message me and we'll get going on that. So I'm doing something a little bit different than I did last time, and that is I'm combining my love of the seed bead jewelry with crystals. So I am the kooky crystal lady who will come bring you some like rose quartz if you're having a hard day. That's just how I am. And given where we are right now in this strange COVID season, I thought that people could really use some jewelry with some positivity and intention behind it. So that's kind of what I've done. I've paired my seed bead jewelry with crystal jewelry to develop jewelry stacks that are really intentional. So the first one I want to show you is bloodstone and seed bead. And so this one is, I posted on the site earlier this weekend. So bloodstone is actually great for courage, protection, grounding. So if you're feeling kind of wobbly about what's going on in your life right now, this might be something that's good for you. And as you can see, the seed bead bracelet matches nicely with the various colors of the bloodstone. And I totally love it. So that's one item. And what I love about the jewelry stacks is you can wear each item separately or together. So I'll share with you another one. And this one is all about money. I mean, it's green, right? So again, we have the seed bead bracelet. And whenever I make these, even though I don't know who I'm making them for a lot of times, as I'm in the creative process, I always think about what kind of love and positivity I can send to my customers who are going to receive this. So that really is, you get a little bit of love from me when you buy some of my jewelry. So we have two crystals here. This one is Amazonite, and this one is aventurine. So I've combined all three of these things to make a prosperity, wealth, inspiration, speak your truth bracelet. And so this one's aventurine. This is a stretchy bracelet. I can also make them with a different closure if you want. So aventurine is a stone of prosperity, wealth, empathy, connection, and luck. And who couldn't use some more of that right now? And Amazonite helps with inspiration, truth telling, and being in the flow. And I just love this combination together because it has the really pretty greens, and it's a little bit like, it's super fun. I don't know if you can see it in the video. It's super fun how the Amazonite has different colors that still go with the whole feel of it. So the next one I want to show you, I'm wearing. Well, I'll show you my earrings first. So these are super fun and they're not heavy. The thing with these beads is they're glass beads and they're really not heavy at all. And even though something like this looks like a substantial bracelet, it's super light. So these are just super fun, long dangly earrings. And I'm wearing one now. So you can see they are really long. They're not heavy to wear at all. So one of the things that, like, as I'm working with people, one of the things that I really like is to do custom projects for them. So I really love the gray and the blue. Maybe that doesn't resonate with you. Maybe you'd prefer silver and gold, which is really pretty together, by the way. So I do custom work all the time for people. And sometimes it's a little bit more special to get a custom piece made. Or what a great gift is to, have a custom piece made for your bestie. So these are $50. They're super lightweight, super fun. You can see a little bit of dangle of the blue in the background. So, when you're on your Zoom call, then you have a little bit of fun sparkle. Okay, so the last stack I'm going to show you, this has been a really popular bracelet of mine. This has taupe. I guess it's like a beigey taupe, gold, and black. And I can make this in different lengths and widths. And if you're thinking you'd like a custom thing made for you, maybe, this bracelet's too small for me, that's fine. I can make something just for you. I just need to know how thick you want it and the length. And then we can put whatever closure you want on it. And like I said, toggle's my favorite because I don't know if you've ever struggled with a lobster clasp, and I can't stand those, and you're standing there all day, and then I'm making my husband do it. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. So, but this particular style of bracelet has the darker colors with it. I've paired it with two of my favorite crystals. So this is smoky quartz, and most of the beads are round, but you can see I have a couple little hearts. I don't know if you can see this here. A couple little heart beads in here. And I paired that with gray agate. So smoky quartz. So this is my strength, calm, grounding, positivity, good vibe jewelry stack. So gray agate is the stone of strength and grounding. It's also said to have an influence over our negative thoughts so that we don't have as many. Likewise, smoky quartz is said to turn negative energy into positive energy and also helps with calming and grounding. This, I think, is something that anyone could use right now because we're in a crazy time. And again, these are stretchy cords. I can put it on just a regular bracelet with a toggle or lobster clasp if you really love those or whatever. But that's how I'm pairing the seed bead bracelets with other crystal bracelets right now. So feel free to reach out to me. My email is victoria@victoriasexton.com. And I love making custom things. We can make something beautiful for you. And thanks so much for joining us here today. I know everyone here really appreciates it, and we all put a lot of love into the art that we do. So thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you, Victoria, for being here, and thank you all of our artists, Francis Esters, Clive Gray, KeKai Kealoha, Marianne Oliver, Michele Rempel, and Victoria Sexton. I want to thank every one of you for being part of Art Is You, and we'll be back Wednesday night. We'll actually be back Wednesday night with a artist demo where you'll get to watch on a live stream one of our featured artists doing the creating art. So thanks everyone, and just as a reminder, a portion of the proceeds from this month's art festival and next month's art festival will go to Feeding America. So art lovers, help us feed America by feeding your love of art. Make it a great week and enjoy yourself, folks. I'm Fred McMurray, and this has been Art is You.